Coworker excluded me from his wedding, and his life fell apart. I, 30M, have been with my company for about 7 years. 5 of those on my current team of 15 people. We're a tight-knit bunch, or so I thought. My coworker, Bob, 33M, joined the same year I did, right in the middle of the pandemic. Not long after, he announced on Zoom that he was engaged. Fast forward to this January, and he told everyone the wedding would be held in September at a gorgeous winery. 5 months ago, invitations started rolling in for everyone on our team, except me. I waited, thinking maybe mine got lost. But after weeks of nothing, I finally asked Bob if it had been sent. He gave me this serious look and said, "Man, I'm really sorry. It's just a space issue. I tried to make it work, but I couldn't. Please don't take it personally." Then he added, "You'll still get some cake and favors though," and asked me to keep quiet about it. I didn't know what to say. I just nodded and walked away. But I was honestly hurt. Everyone else was invited. And I actually like weddings. They're fun. Still, I stayed quiet and didn't make a scene. 3 weeks ago, the big day came and went. My coworkers came back raving. How beautiful it was, how amazing the food was, how everyone got a dozen apple cider donuts to take home. Me? No cake, no favors, no donuts. The Monday after, a teammate named Sherry asked where I'd been, since Bob told everyone I was sick. I told her the truth. I wasn't invited. She was shocked. Word spread fast. Within hours, half the team knew. Today, Bob came back from his honeymoon and cornered me in the break room, upset that I told people. I told him, "How would you feel being the only one left out?" We argued until he walked away. Even my project manager heard and checked in on me. I didn't mean for this to blow up, but it did. My coworker said Bob was wrong, and honestly, I agree. Sure, it's his wedding, his choice, but I have every right to feel excluded. So Reddit, am I the jerk for saying I wasn't invited and being upset about it? More info. Everyone on the team got a +1. 12 out of 15 are married. Besides Bob and me, there's one single woman, 26F, who went solo. I can't help thinking maybe Bob's wife didn't want me there. We only met once at a Christmas party, talked about Super Mario Maker and Breath of the Wild for 15 minutes. She added me online to download my game levels, but that's it. Haven't talked in years. For context, I'm just your average white guy. Tall, 6 feet 4 inches, lean, decent shape, and do fine in dating. Bob's also tall, confident, and good looking, so I doubt he felt threatened. I've never had issues with him before this. Anyway, I figured I'd let it go and move on, but then came the update. Update, why I wasn't invited. Bob asked to meet after work with his wife Pam. We met for drinks and both apologized for excluding me. The reason? They didn't want single men at their wedding. Apparently, they went to a wedding in 2019 that turned into a brawl after drunk single guys hit on women. Fights broke out, police showed up, total disaster. Pam swore that at her wedding there'd be no single guys except family or groomsmen. Pam insisted it wasn't personal, just her way of keeping things safe. She admitted she was strict about it, and even though Bob vouched for me, she wouldn't budge. Then she said something that threw me off. "You're actually my sister's type, and I didn't want her around you." I was like, "What?" She explained her sister is a bit of a flirt, and she didn't want me getting tangled up with her. Bob apologized for lying and said he hoped I'd understand. They insisted on taking me to dinner as an apology. I agreed at first. Free steak is free steak. But after thinking it over and reading Reddit's comments calling me a pushover, I backed out. I told my project manager everything. She suggested logging it with HR in case things got weird. HR agreed. Better safe than sorry. I declined the dinner and asked for a public apology instead. Oh, and I wanted those fresh cider donuts. More context before the next update. To be clear, I never felt entitled to be invited. I just hated the lies. If they'd been honest from the start, I'd have understood. Bob and I never talked about women. Pam had trauma from that Royal Rumble wedding and wanted to feel safe. I get that. But lying to everyone made it worse. Pam said she even turned down some of her own single guy friends. Bob told me it came down to a 70-30 vote. He pushed hard for me, but Pam wouldn't budge. Still, I believed Bob was genuinely sorry. Maybe I'm naive, but he seemed sincere. Bob's drunken confession. I thought it was over, but then Bob asked to meet one last time. He looked exhausted, so I agreed. Over drinks, he told me the full story. Pam's no single men rule had caused chaos. Bob fought her on it for months, but she refused to budge. He wanted a smaller wedding or even hired security, but Pam wanted her dream wedding, big and drama-free. When Bob finally caved, Pam promised to take all the heat if anyone found out. After the wedding, though, word got out. Pam's guy friends learned why they weren't invited and went ballistic. She lost most of her friends overnight. Some of Bob's friends even organized a fishing trip and donated $500 to a women's shelter as a screw you. Pam's been crying for days. Her job's a mess. Bob said their marriage is already cracking under the stress. Then, Bob admitted something wild. Pam actually likes me. He said she regrets not getting to know me better and even joked she might have a crush. And about her sister Beth, turns out she's not the problem child Pam made her sound like. She's just open about her sex life and introduced Pam and Bob to the kink scene. Did not expect that part. Apparently, Pam thought Beth and I would hit it off too well, which is why she kept us apart. Bob laughed and said, "You know what? I'll give Beth your Instagram." I thought he was kidding. He wasn't. Update. A date with Beth. So, Bob gave Beth my Instagram. She messaged me and we hit it off immediately. We met for coffee, then drinks. Both went great. She's smart, funny, kind, and we have the exact same interests. This weekend, we're going on a hike together. And yes, we're stopping by the same winery where Bob and Pam had their wedding to grab those legendary apple cider donuts. If things go well, I'm asking her to be my girlfriend. Crazy how things work out, right? Final update, the last chapter. The hike went perfectly. The weather, the view, the conversation, all amazing. At the top, I asked her to be my girlfriend. She laughed and said, "That's the corniest proposal ever," but then added, "Good thing I like corny." We sealed it with a kiss. On the way down, we stopped at the winery and finally got those donuts. They were heavenly, totally worth the wait. We spent the weekend together. Dinner, brunch, city walks. Honestly, it feels like I'm back in high school, grinning like an idiot. Beth and I made it Instagram official, and guess who saw it? Pam. She messaged Beth, "How do you know him?" Beth replied, "Bob introduced us." Pam's only response, "I knew this would happen." Bob and Pam apparently fought over it, but Bob said he doesn't care, says it was worth it just to see us happy. So, yeah, the guy who excluded me from his wedding ended up introducing me to the love of my life. And yes, I finally got my apple cider donuts. Peace and love, Reddit.